Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Human Resources and History. This podcast aims to offer insights from 7,000 years of human history to help modern human resource practices. I am your host, Makoto, a data scientist and journalist.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jin, your co-host. I am an HR professional and I love history.
Cool. So today is the last of the 3-episode series about succession planning, right?
Yes.
And in the first episode, we covered Alexander the Great and his failure of not choosing the successor. And in the second episode, we discussed how kings and nobles were training the future leaders. So what are we covering today?
Yes. So, in the last 2 episodes, as you said, we've established that finding and nurturing talent is essential, right? But of course, it all boils down to this important phase, which is selecting the right individuals for leadership roles.
Mm-hmm.
To think about it, even with a deep pool of talent and a fantastic development program, if you choose the wrong person, you'll be disastrous, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really important to choose the right person. And if you choose the wrong person, it can potentially jeopardize the entire organization. Yeah. So it's very important to avoid this pitfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, of course, how can we avoid such a pitfall, right? Mm-hmm. And history holds the answers as always.
So even though you go through the first and the second step properly, you could still choose a wrong person.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's important to review, the criteria and also the people in the talent pool, because human is, they change, right? We change, and then sometimes, we develop our skills dramatically, but we get, demotivated. So it's always important to keep your eyes on the people on the talent pool, right? And then out of this talent pool, you need to make sure to choose the right person, right? And then the right person is not always the most skilled person or the cleverest person. It's really, depends on the situation.
Oh, okay. That would be interesting to learn about it.
Yes, and then so we're gonna analyze some historical events today to draw some insights for this step, selecting the right leaders, right?
Okay, interesting.
And actually, I spotted some patterns for this.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I really want to talk about all the patterns and also how the criteria to choose the right leaders.
Well, let me hear it.
Yeah, but I know that. Do you remember the last time? Episode was 50 minutes, and I think it was too long, and then it was a bit exhausting. It's fine, but
I spent the entire Sunday editing the audio.
Yeah, right. So I'm a good friend of yours, so I don't want to ruin your Sunday.
Okay, let's try to keep it compact, because I assume it's better for the listeners, and let me enjoy some weekend time as well.
Right. So our target duration of this episode will be, let's say, 4 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
We'll probably spend 3 minutes already. Well, so realistically, 25. Well, let's see. Yeah. But anyway, so I said that I spotted some patterns, right? To select the right leaders.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What kind of methods or patterns do you think we might uncover today?
Well, what a dumb question, Isn't it let the strongest one be the leader, right?
That could be the...
That's what I learned from this series.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you learn how to fail, right? If you want to fail, definitely. Yeah, if you want to deliberately fail, then you can probably say that just let the strongest one to take your position.
Okay, I was just joking. But
essentially it's important to choose the best one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the question here is how to choose the best one.
I mean, normally the current leader decide who's going to be the next one to succeed him, right?
Yeah, actually, yes. That's definitely one of the approaches I was talking about. I was going to talk about, right? So I've identified 4 distinct methods throughout history. So let me share with you one by one. Okay.
Okay. By the way, 4 minutes have already passed. So.
Okay.
Let's roll up.
So we have probably what minus 1 minute.
Yeah.
Let me do my best. Okay.
Go ahead.
Anyway, the first one is hereditary succession. Yeah, I think it's a quite self-explanatory. So in human history for centuries, in many monarchies across the globe, the next ruler often came from within the royal family itself. Yeah, I think it's clear, right?
Well,
think back to any medieval monarchy. These were the most common way of choosing a king or queen.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the first one, and then often the eldest son takes the crown.
Right.
Yeah. Although we know there are many talented queens or empresses like England's Elizabeth I or Austria's Maria Theresa or like many people, right? Many queens, but mainly the eldest son.
Yeah.
So the crown is passed to them. Right. So but it's I in a big company, it's not super common, right? This hereditary succession in the modern world. But it's still prevalent among small to mid-sized private companies.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But then I said but I said the public companies, the big public companies rarely follow this model. But there is some examples like Toyota Motors.
Oh yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah. So the chairman, I think he recently stepped down from the CEO role, but he is the grandson of the company's founder, Toyota Kiichiro. So the current chairman is Akio Toyoda. Right. Yeah. So this method, like hereditary succession, is definitely one of the methods in history, and also we can use this method in the modern corporate world as well. By the way, do you know why Toyota is called Toyota? Although the founder's name and then the current chairman is Toyoda, with D.
Yeah. Wasn't it related to the location of their headquarters?
Well, no. Actually, the city is named after their name.
Oh, the city's name was after their name. Wow. Yeah, it's like Alexandria.
Yeah, exactly. City is Toyota City, right? But then the founder's name is Toyoda with D, not T.
Right.
Right. So the reason is quite interesting. So Toyoda, the founding family's family name with D, requires 10 strokes to write in Japanese.
10? Oh, okay. Hiragana has 3 letters.
I think so.
Hiragana?
Yeah. It's hiragana, I guess.
Because to is 2 strokes, yo is 2 strokes, and da is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strokes.
Yeah, exactly. So Toyoda requires 10 strokes to write in Japanese. Right, but Toyota with T only needs 8, right?
So what?
Well, if you don't speak Japanese, probably you don't know what we are talking about. But the number 8 is considered lucky in Japanese culture, right?
Isn't it number 7?
Number 7 is probably is Western thing, I guess. But number 8 is
right. Yeah, because if you write number 8 in Chinese character, it shapes like a mountain, and I think it has a meaning like your future is wider than current state.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that where this comes from.
Yeah. So it's considered as a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that is why Toyota is named as such, although their family name is Toyoda.
Oh.
Right?
Okay, that's interesting.
Well, Makoto, we cannot finish within 25 minutes. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, so now we are moving to the second method. So this involves a governing body selecting the next leader. So in other words, you can say board of directors. Yeah, exactly. It's not, they are not employees, but it's kind of like external body, right? So we'll think about today's corporate world. It's the board of directors who often hold the responsibility of choosing who sits in the top leadership positions, including the CEO.
Yeah.
And these board of directors, they are the ones identifying, recruiting, and ultimately supervising the CEO's performance.
Right.
So this is the second model I was talking about.
But it's pretty common nowadays, especially in the public companies, right?
Yes, exactly. And then, the public companies, in many countries, as far as I know, this is legally required to have the board of directors.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, these days, especially in public companies, this is the most common method to choose the next leader.
And then what about in history?
Right. So it's compared to the first method, which is a hereditary succession. Obviously, this is not common, right? However, there was this remarkable example in history. Can you think of any, let's say, big empire who adopted this method to choose their leader?
Like there were a group of high-ranked people who were discussing who's going to be the next thing.
Yes,
leader?
Exactly.
I don't know.
HRE.
Human Resources and Empire?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing that when you hear the word HR, you immediately think about human resources. Yeah, but obviously it's not a good.
We are not building
good practice
empire,
in history.
Right?
Well, as you want, if you can build an empire. But when you say HRE in history, it's human. No, sorry, not the human resources.
You see?
Yeah, I'm an HR, so it's okay. Right. So, Holy Roman Empires.
Oh yeah.
So this is often they are we use this abbreviation HRE. Anyway, HRE back in the 13th century, they had a system called Kurfürsten, if I pronounced correctly, and this Kurfürsten is a select group of prince electors who chose the next emperor. So it's like a board of directors. Yeah. So there was 7, and I think that the maximum was 9. But anyway, very limited number of prince electors chose the next emperor. So this practice remained in place for centuries, and which finally ended in 1806 when Napoleon defeated the empire.
In this case, the emperor's voice is lower than the voice from the prince electors, right?
You mean like power?
Yeah, because the Kurfürsten, these guys have the last casting vote, no?
Yeah, actually, you are right. So, emperor in the Holy Roman Empire, compared to other monarchies in Europe, they had relatively weaker power. So, actually, Holy Roman Empire is neither holy, neither Roman, neither an empire. Right. So, right.
Yeah.
So it's not really empire. It's like the aggregation of small nation states, and then the emperor didn't really have a power.
So it's like holy wannabe, Roman wannabe, empire wannabe.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But there's a key difference though between then and now. I mean while the Holy Roman Empire chose its emperors from within its own territory, modern corporations often cast a wider net, meaning that they hire people from outside their territory or maybe organization.
Right.
Yeah, well, probably like Holy Roman Empire, they didn't bring an emperor from China, but modern corporate, enterprises, of course, they can do as they want. And a great example in the modern business world is probably this guy called Lou Gerstner, who became the chairman and CEO of IBM. Right? So I don't know if you remember that IBM was struggling like 2-3 decades ago.
Right.
And then he was hired. So he wasn't an IBM insider. And before joining IBM, he had some leadership roles at American Express or RJR Nabisco. And when IBM was facing a massive $8 billion loss, it was around like 1990s. So like 80 billion back then, it was huge money, right? So their board decided to look for outside help because they believed a fresh perspective was needed. And then Gerstner, who was the first IBM CEO hired externally, joined the company and managed to turn the company around.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I think this seems more like a solid method to choose the right leader, no? I think
it's like, the democratic in a way. But well, in fact, between the 15th and 18th centuries in the Holy Roman Empire, emperors were consistently chosen from the Habsburg family for many reasons. Yeah, but mainly for political reasons.
Oh, okay.
So still, this kind of like methods, which seems more solid, is not free from politics. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. It can be it's a good method for sure, and then it's actually prevalent method in public companies in the modern corporate world.
Especially nowadays, there are a lot of cases where the leaders are coming from, not from internal, but from, different companies or even different industry, right?
Yes.
This makes a lot of sense because even if the industry is different, there are a lot of, I'm going to use the word you like, but the transferable skills in running a company itself.
Yeah. I agree. But also, it's important to know the culture and then knows how to work with people internally, right?
Right.
So external hire is for sure it's risky. Yeah, especially when it comes to like top management role.
Yeah.
But risky means it doesn't mean it's bad, right? It can be like, you may have a loss, but you may have a huge gain out of it, especially when company needs to turn around themselves. Yeah, it's a very solid option to hire people from outside. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So this is the second method, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then the third one, let's talk about it. So it's more democratic approach, right? So meaning that it gives employees or community members a voice in choosing their leaders. So it's like a election. And then, for example, let's say ancient Greece.
Yeah, of course, that's where the democracy was first born.
Yeah, exactly. So I know the people, they had especially like men, of course, because these ancient Greece, still women, and then slaves, they didn't have the freedom. So mainly limited to men, but all the men in the community had this right to vote. Yeah. So this is quite common in politics in nowadays.
Yeah, but what about in the business?
Yeah, it's not common for sure.
Right.
However, there is a company called Hof it's a German company. I don't know if I pronounced correctly, but this company called Hof in Germany. So they chose the CEO by voting by the employees.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, the global CEO and the CEO of the US branch.
Seriously?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know how this company is if they are performing or not, but that was actually the case where employees are encouraged or employees are allowed to participate in this voting system, and then they actually chose their CEO.
Okay, that's very interesting. I think there are good sides and bad sides, but at least it makes the employees feel more responsible, and also they will feel some sort of ownership.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like empowerment, right? So if it works, this is also a good option as well. So maybe doing so in a public companies, like big companies, might be a little tricky, right? Yeah. But if you are part of like small or mid-sized company, maybe you can think about this way.
In a democratic country, it makes sense that people get to choose the state leaders, because citizens are kind of obliged to pay tax, and in return they have these voting rights, right? And even if you don't like your country, basically you are tied to your country and you can't really run away from the obligation. Well, technically you can, but it's way difficult. But then in the corporate world, if you don't like the company, you can just leave, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Of course, it's nice that some companies give you choices and let you feel the sense of ownership like this. But to me, it doesn't really seem the rights and obligations are well balanced, or not like the two sides of the same coin, like in a democracy. And also, I don't know, it seems a bit risky for the company, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course, it's everything has pros and cons,
right?
And then the fact is that this is not really prevalent practice. Tells us that there is more risks. There are more risks than benefits, I think.
Yeah, because regular employees don't have as much understanding of business as the board members or executives, right?
Yeah.
Like board members, executives, they have better, I would say, like a bird's eye view on the business and surrounding situations on their industries. So it's, is it safe to let the employees vote for the leader? I don't know.
Well, it's really questionable for sure. And then I wouldn't, if I was the CEO of my employer, I wouldn't definitely do that, right? And especially big companies, it's tricky.
Or if I were a shareholder of this company, I wouldn't like this.
So it's maybe like this is more for small companies or mid-sized company,
right?
Yeah, but then again, this gives a strong sense of ownership and empowerment to the employees. So,
right.
Then of course we know that ancient Greek was one of the greatest, I would say, polities in human history. We can learn a lot of things from them, right? And then the fact that they implemented this system can tell us a lot. Yeah. Right. So why not? I just wanted to share with you one of the ways to choose the leader.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, it's interesting, And one day, when we found the company, if that happens, let's choose our CEO by voting.
We have currently 2 employees, and
yeah, and then maybe like we can hire our wives, and probably they don't vote for us.
They will have stronger opinions on everything.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So it's actually we are running out of the time, and then I wanted to share with you the 4th method, which is coup d'état. I know it sounds super dramatic, but I think this is because just in a nutshell, the coup d'état is, I think it's one of the ways to to choose the right leader because, where to start? Just because one nation conquers another country, because they think it's better for at least for themselves, and then they put the right leader in the nation they conquered, right? Mm-hmm. So it sounds quite violent, but looking at the modern corporate world, I think M&A can be a good equivalent. So when you think when you decide to acquire a company, right? Because this company has a potential, but this company doesn't have a right leadership. So you decided to acquire them, and then you replace the current executives with the new ones, and you place the right leader. So I think coup d'etat is actually not your organization, but external organization. But I still wanted to mention as the fourth method. Yeah, okay. But let's stop here. Otherwise, we're going to end up with another hour-long episode.
Okay. It's a shame that we are running out of time, but that sounds like a very interesting topic, to be honest.
So this is the end of the 3-episode series, right? So we talked about succession planning, and we established these 3 steps. Identifying the talent pool, developing the people on the talent pool, and then selecting the right leader. Mm-hmm. How did you feel?
I think it was a very interesting series. We were following 3 important components of succession planning, and to me, it became really clear. It was a nice breakdown into these 3 steps, and also, I like the fact that from this series we learned both bad examples and good examples. For me the highlight was still to the strongest one, and by the Alexander the Great.
Not recommended. Okay.
Yeah, but it's still lingering in my head. He was such a charismatic leader, but died without doing the most important thing. What a guy!
Yes.
Yeah. And I also want to extend my thoughts to the future, which is, one of my clients that I work for currently is in the Web3 field. Mm-hmm. And in the field of Web3, there's an organization called DAO, DAO, which is Decentralized Autonomous Organization.
Yes.
And it's an organization managed with voting and finances handled through blockchain. So if it's fully autonomous, there are no such a thing as leader. And even if it's not fully autonomous, there are leaders, but then it's voted by the community. And it's not common yet, but if it becomes more and more common, then there will be I think different form of choosing the successor, choosing a leader.
That's for sure.
I guess the voting system is one of the topics that we discussed today, the one that ancient Greek was implementing, but maybe this will be the form, or maybe something different, but I don't know.
But I think this can be a good way to when you think about the future organization model. But I still think it really depends on what kind of business you are doing, right?
Right.
So if it's more like a like a small business, you just have you build a flat organization, right? But then when it comes to building a huge building, let's say,
right,
I think you still need clear roles and responsibilities, and then clear reporting line.
I was thinking when you were talking about hereditary succession planning. I was thinking a lot of other examples, my examples are Japanese companies, but for example, Suntory. It was run by Tori family or Saji family. They were switching one after another until recently, right? So it started as family-owned business. I think it's still family-owned because it's not a public company. But then they started to hire more leaders from outside of the company. And also, another example was the soy sauce maker, Kikkoman. It was originally the really heavily family-owned company. I think it was like a Mogi Family until early 2000s, and they started to hire different people. So I guess it depends on the stage of the company. You know, a lot of companies start with a family-owned, but then as it grows, then right.
Of course, it's we really set up the 4 methods, right? And then of course there are other ways to choose, I guess. But then it really depends on the environment and then the maturity level of your company, and then you need to choose the right method to choose the right leader. Yes,
that's right.
Yeah.
Since you live in France, you know the LVMH group. It's owned by Arnault family, right?
Yeah.
And then I think the CEO is still the founder, Bernard Arnault. Which method do you think he will implement?
I think. Wait, but still they have a board of directors, right? And then the Bernard Arnault, he's I think one of the biggest shareholders, right? Yeah, but then they also have the board of directors. So I guess they will choose the right person, right?
Okay,
so
not
the next CEO
with the hereditary.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be looking into it.
Let's keep our eyes on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so now we finished a series of 3 episodes, finally.
Yes.
Cool. Then what are you going to talk about for the next episode?
Yes, so we're going to talk about one of the Disney movies. Yeah. Have you watched the Mulan?
Mulan? No, I haven't. It's one of the very few Disney movies that I haven't watched.
Or like one of the many. Like the last time. Okay. I had the impression that you are not really Disney person.
Not really.
Me neither, but at least I watched like major Disney movies. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Mulan next time.
Yeah, sure. If you haven't watched Mulan yet, please watch it.
Yeah, please do so, Makoto.
It's my homework then.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Then why not calling it a day?
Yes. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and see you next time.
Thanks, everyone, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.
Bye.